Welcome to the Settle Your Side Hustle podcast. I started this podcast for one very simple reason, and that is to show you what it's like to actually start a business. Going from a side hustle business that I'm doing while working the 9 to 5 to being full-time in my business, living the life that I want, controlling my time, controlling my hours. And the number one problem that I had with every podcast I listen to on the market is that either A, they don't actually get down to the nitty-gritty. They're not transparent with you, telling you about their actual struggles, or B, they've already made it so there aren't struggles to share. And that's why I decided to start this podcast right here, right now, as I've just transitioned into full-time entrepreneurship, so I can actually share with you the struggles as I go through them, and you can learn from my experiences while you're growing your business alongside me. Now, let's get into the show. What is up, side hustlers, entrepreneurs, business builders, and dream makers? It is so exciting to be here with you once again, day 3 of our journey. Welcome to the Settle Your Side Hustle podcast, episode number 3. Today, I want to give you guys an update on how everything went yesterday and on what's happened so far today. I just want to give you an update on what's going on in my business. Be transparent and authentic, as I promised you I would be. So yesterday, I told you guys how I was going to do this training on the Dream 100, how I had all of my coaching clients who I said, hey, come to this training. It's going to be really good. Well, I did that training, and it ended up being where I didn't have quite enough time, as much time as I'd like to put together my my slide deck, my presentation. It wasn't as clean as I wanted it to be, but the value was really, really good. Here are my notes from it right there. Snapshot of the notes if you're watching video, if you're watching this on YouTube. And it just went really well. And those who came were very excited about it and also very overwhelmed because, frankly, there's a lot to the strategy of the Dream 100, but it is probably the most efficient way that you can build a business, regardless of where technology's at and anything like that, and something sustainable and lastable. So I'll share with you guys right now that there's basically 4 steps that I broke this down to. And step 1, I said, was make sure that you own, that everything you do produces traffic that you own. Everything that you do gives you ownership of your traffic. So for example, I have this free 50 proven side hustle list, and then this free checklist of the 11 tools you need to start a side hustle that I give away as a lead magnet, so I have opt-in forms. I have the link in every podcast episode that I make that says, get these cool tools for free. Just enter your name and your email. And then that also directs people to a Facebook group. So the Facebook group is where I do a lot of my live trainings. I do an in-depth training every single Monday. We're building a community. It's like 785 people, I think, last time I looked at it in this group. And we're growing pretty quickly. But the ownership of my podcast, the ownership of my audience, the ownership of my traffic all comes from when I'm able to get the email, right? The only thing that I own is my email. My podcast can be shut down by YouTube or Spotify. My YouTube channel can be shut down. I can be banned from Facebook. I can have my group closed, my Facebook group closed. Every social media platform you have, everywhere where you stream, everywhere where you produce content can be taken down except for your personal website and your email list. Those are the only things that you truly own. So everything that you do, every time that you're producing content, you should be trying to convert your audience into the audience that you own by getting their emails, getting their contact information. So that's step 1, is making sure that everything you do has something built into where you have a way to do that. For example, I got on a podcast today, and at the end of the podcast, I told the listeners, I have a free gift for you. I'm going to provide the link, right? So that's the strategy there, to make sure that you're always trying to build your own list. If you can get a good size list of just even a couple thousand people, and then you can do good email marketing with that, you will probably be making good money for the rest of your life. Roughly speaking, every subscriber to your list should be worth $1 a month if you're marketing properly on your email list. And so you can imagine how valuable a $5,000 or a 5,000 person list is, how valuable a 10,000 person list is. And obviously when we dig into that, we'll talk about this. I don't believe that every email that you send should be something where you're asking for money. I think you should vary it up. Personally, my belief is that you should have emails that are just providing value. You should have emails that are making asks. You should be varying things up like that. And so, personal opinion on that. But step 1 is making sure that you get that email list so that everything you're doing is potentially building this list for you, which will eventually become the most valuable asset that you own. Then Step 2 is running your own show. And that's doing something like a podcast like this, a YouTube channel, a blog, something where you're putting out content so that you can start not only building an audience, but building a platform for yourself. And like I said, this can be shut down because the network, right? If it's a show, then you're on a network. The network can cancel you. But if it cancels you after you've built an audience, then you can just switch to a new network and take your audience with you. There's a couple reasons that you want to run your own show. And one of those big things is that when you dig into the Stream 100 idea, you want to be able to offer them something. So you want to be able to offer them to come onto your podcast or to write about them on your blog or to have them on your YouTube channel. You want to be able to give them that gift. So that's kind of the step 2 is running your own show. Step 3, now that we have everything that we're doing, building our list, we have our own show, so we're building an audience. Then step 3 is simply identifying who your Dream 100 is. Who are the people who have the biggest audiences that are out of the audience that I already want, right? And so who are the people who have the largest audience of my ideal customers is probably a better way to say that. So I said this yesterday, but I'll just say it again. For me, the people who have the biggest audience of my ideal customers are probably people like Gary Vaynerchuk, probably people like Tai Lopez, probably people like Tony Robbins, probably people like Russell Brunson. Those are probably the people who have the biggest congregation of the audience that I want. And several of the people I just named actually used the Stream 100 strategy to build their own audience. So they're proof of concept effectively. And then step 4 is what Russell Brunson called building the well before you're thirsty. And so this is the going into making these Dream 100 raving fans of yours prior to making any asks of them. Because the end goal, step 5, I guess you would say, is saying, hey, can I be on your show? Can I be on your podcast? Can you interview me on your Facebook page? Can I get in front of your audience? Can we do a joint venture deal? Can I do something where I'm leveraging your audience that's actually valuable for you as well? And so when you make that ask, you want to make sure that they already like you. So that's the overview of what I talked about yesterday. And then obviously went into much more details. That was an hour-long talk that I gave. And I'm learning it. I'm figuring out how to do this on my own. So I'm not giving it from this authority position. I'm giving it from this, I am trying to implement this as I teach it to you. I'm being an investigative reporter. And as I'm learning, I'm sharing, right? So that was yesterday. And then today, I actually just got off of a podcast interview. I was being interviewed on a podcast. And so as soon as that podcast comes out, I'll have links for that so you guys can go watch that too. It was really good. I was asked a bunch of really good questions about Settle Your Side Hustle. And one of the ones that I was asked that I just wanted to share with you guys, and then I'll wrap up this episode, is I was asked, how does somebody know what their side hustle should be? Someone say that they have a day job, or say that they've been following shiny object syndrome. They've been bouncing around between a whole lot of different things. How do they know what they should be doing? And my answer to that is twofold. One is I built my 14-day challenge to answer this question. It follows a lot of psychology, and then it actually just breaks things down into numbers. And what it does is it off of several different metrics, it has you figure out what side hustle you should be running by just a number system. At the end of the process, whichever side hustle has the most points is the one that's the best fit for you. And then what I do is I actually give 3. And I say pick between those 3 because there is some stuff that can't be quantified. And so from the top 3 that got the most points, what should you be doing is what the challenge does. It's fantastic. It's a free challenge. I do take a $95 deposit on it, and you get the deposit back as soon as you complete the challenge. The reason I do that is to incentivize people to complete the challenge, but I don't actually keep the money. If you don't complete the challenge, you don't get the deposit back. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to donate that deposit. So it's not for me to make money. I'm not hoping that you don't finish. I'm hoping that you do finish. But then know that if you don't finish, the money does go to a good cause. So that's the challenge, and I would recommend that. But the simplified version of it that you could do right now without joining the challenge, and I'll have the link for the challenge in the description, is you could just simply ask yourself, draw this 3-way Venn diagram, and you could ask yourself, what am I good at? What pays well? And what do I enjoy doing? And then anything that ends up in all 3 of those lists that's in the overlap of the Venn diagram, that's what your side hustle should be. Because so we'll break this down. If you're good at it and it pays well, but you don't enjoy it, you'll be rich but miserable. If it pays well and you enjoy it, but you're not good at it, then no one's going to pay you to do it. But you could learn to scale, right? If you enjoy it and you're good at it, but it doesn't pay well, then you'll be happy and broke. You need all 3 to be happy and get paid well, right? So they'll be happy and rich. So that's a simplified. You can just draw this up, Venn diagram, back and napkin exercise to figure out what kind of side hustle should you be doing. If you want more guidance than that, then just go ahead and do that 14-day challenge. And I'll even make this easier for you. So we're going to transition now to me sharing about my lead magnet, because like I said, everything that you do should have a way for you to own the traffic, right? So here's mine. If you're trying to figure out what your side hustle should be, you're going through that Venn diagram and you decided, no, I don't want to do the challenge. Well, then it's going to be really helpful for you to have a bunch of ideas of side hustles that are already verified, already proven. They work in the market. You can do them from a laptop. And that's what I'll give you. I have a link in the description for 50 free, for a list of 50 side hustles, 100% free. You'll get for free 50 side hustles that are proven to work with nothing but a laptop. And then I'm even going to give you the list of 11 tools that I recommend you use to start those side hustles. And so then you can go through those and apply the Venn diagram exercise and figure out exactly what side hustle you should launch. And then the list is actually, when you opt in, it's actually going to redirect you to the Facebook group. So you can join the Facebook group and be in a community that's working on the same goals as you're working on, get a bunch of free training, a bunch of free resources, and start the side hustle you just decided. Anyway, that's what I have for you guys today. I will be in your earbuds once again tomorrow. Love you guys. Talk soon.